We're in Salem. We're going to be doing witches and pirates, but you find us here in the Satanic Temple of Salem, where we're starting our spooky tour of Salem.
What's up guys, so here we are in Salem and we're about to embark on a tour and show you guys the best of this place. So we've started this shoot in Salem's Satanic Temple because, as everybody knows, Andy has a big interest in satanic occult, magic and Aleister Crowley. So we're really in here and doing this because this is Andy's Salem documentary. What are your thoughts and feelings so far in here, Andy?
And people will probably be very surprised about this. They'll expect it's so peaceful and calm and everything, and it feels like you feel rejuvenated.
But isn't this what satanic temple worship is meant to be all about?
Yeah, it's not what people think it is. People have this.
They have the wrong concept of it.
What they've been told, what they've been seeing, what they've heard. It's weird because I actually feel uplifted, and it's a strange thing to say, and people probably go, "That's a bit weird," but it just feels so calm, so peaceful, so energising. That's how I feel.
Okay, so we're going to take you on a walk through Halloween Salem. Everything's decked out for Halloween now and it's the best time to come, really. And this place being the Twin to Pendle, which Andy's going to give you some history on the Salem witches as we tour this town. Give you guys an idea. Everything's wooden, porches, everything done up for Halloween. Back gardens are like, they've got open fire pits where you can sit around, and there's autumn leaves everywhere now because it's fall. It's just the perfect time to film Salem. And all of the houses are done up their own style for which, for witch season, Halloween. So we're going to give you the view of this street as an idea of all the streets in Salem are roughly like this, wooden houses. They've all got their own gardens done different ways, like someone's done a graveyard there. So Andy, step into the camera where we can see you.
Oh, you want me in the grave?
Yeah, so what is the history of briefly the history of the Salem witches?
Well, what it was bit of mass history. Whereas you had Pendle in England, where some of the people who tried at the Pendle witch trials were witches, did practice, were wise women. Whereas here, I don't think any of the people who were hung, or I think they burnt people here, none of them were witches. A lot of it was to do was a fungus in the corn caused the people to have hallucinations and stuff like that, where they saw things and it just spiralled and spiralled and spiralled, where people were accusing each other that they'd been possessed by this, that and the other, and basically they were all killed because they said they were all witches, which they weren't. All of them were innocent, just ordinary people who, because of this thing in the corn, give them hallucinations, and they were all saying that so-and-so possessed me, they possessed him, they possessed them. And basically a lot of it was because they were strong women. Again, strong women who had to be put down by the puritanical Christian church. Again.
to the gallows with you, because the Lord will not suffer a liar.
Salem now. This is one of the houses. Yeah, a lot of the people who were killed in the witch trials of Salem were innocent. Yeah, this whole area was affected by it. Hysteria, young girls and everything like that. Literally just going absolutely crazy. A lot of the court case and everything like that, it was like they used what's the same thing that they used for the Pendle witch trials. So that's why it's very, very similar.
Okay, so this will probably be a traditional witch's garden. Witches used to grow everything in their gardens that they needed for their spells. And not only for spells, but also for cooking. A lot of the time witches cooked everything that they grew from their own gardens. You can get actually witches cookbooks, which is basically all different things baked from vegetables and herbs grown in your own garden. It's all part of the witchcraft thing. It isn't just all about wearing black and putting spells on people. It's also about nature. It's also about certain plants at certain times of the year, certain vegetables at certain times of the year, certain things to cook, certain times of the year to celebrate with eating and drinking spiced juices and, you know, like mulled wines, that kind of thing. It's all traditional to witchcraft. So this will be a traditional witch's garden where they would grow every plant, and a lot of it would be used for medicinal, you know, remedial purposes. So this place obviously attracts witches from all over the world, and we can see some witches down there now just having a gathering of photographs taken. This really is a central communal place for witches from all over the world, any kind of type of witchcraft that you study.
Yeah.
And I think Andy and I have explained on several occasions that there's the Wiccan, which is the white American, there's the pagan, which is the European and British, and then there's the satanic, darker, occult side, which people study, and you know that's their lifestyle. But altogether, it is under the same umbrella of witchcraft and magic, and we all respect each other's beliefs, be they light or be they dark, be they upturned pentacle or downturned pentacle. There are reasons why we have white candles and black. And if you've followed our previous programs, especially the ones filmed around Pendle Hill, we will have explained all of this to you. So whilst we're in Salem, we're going to do a little bit of Salem versus Pendle.
Yeah.
But this is Andy's, predominantly his documentary. He's the expert in occults.
Yeah, in 1690, after the Pendle witch trials in 1612, a lot of English people came over to America as immigrants to live here. So obviously, news of the trial passed over to the Americans, and the puritanical Christian Americans decided, oh, we're going to do that. We'll get rid of a lot of strong women, a lot of troublemakers, a lot of women who were getting a bit above their station. And that's what basically happened. And a lot of the techniques they used in the trials here are what they used in Pendle, like using children as witnesses, which obviously nowadays you couldn't do. And basically it was the same ending, that innocent people were hung or burnt at the stake, which is crazy when you think about it now. Everybody's more tolerant of paganism and witchcraft, any other religion, but in them days it was strict puritanical Christianity, which meant you either went with the way, religion-wise, that the people in this country went with, or you were got rid of. One of the ways of supposedly in the trials that they were finding out if you were a witch was by ducking in water. If you floated, you were a witch. If you drowned, you weren't a witch. So either way, you died anyway, which was really a really good way of working out whether you were a witch or not. Crazy, but that's how the minds worked in that time. So basically, once you were accused, you were dead.
All right. one of the ghost stories in this area is Samuel Bellamy, one of our British pirates from Cornwall, who sailed out here during the age of piracy, late 1600s. He sailed into Boston and he met a girl there called Mary, and he put a ring on her finger and he promised he was going to go and make his fortune at sea and then he would come back and marry her. So he jumped on a privateer ship to go away and to make his money, and he didn't return. He didn't return for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and in that time, shortly after he left, Mary found out that she was pregnant. She had to endure the pregnancy alone back in the days when women were not allowed to have children out of wedlock, and she gave birth to the child. She couldn't cope with the child. She throttled the child, and then she took her own life. She threw herself into the sea and drowned. So Samuel Bellamy never found out what happened to the love of his life. Mary is said to haunt the shores of Boston now, looking for her lost love who never returned. Samuel Bellamy lasted about 18 months on the privateer ship, and then he met up with pirates and decided he could make his fortune amongst the pirates instead. So he then went on to sail with pirates for 3 or 4 years. He did make his fortune and he came back as a captain, Captain Samuel Bellamy, with 3 pirate ships of his own. He decided it was time to sail back into Boston and to marry his true love, but unfortunately his ship hit rocks and capsized and drowned before he reached Boston, and he never got to find out what happened to his true love. So the strange thing about Samuel Bellamy is that when Andy and I were up at Smithers Hall doing one of our haunted paranormal shoots up there, we set up to do a pirate shoot because a pirate did stay at Smithers Hall, that we do know, but we didn't know which one. And when we were doing the spirit talker in the courtyard there, asking out for pirates to come forward, the name Bellamy came through. So we were wondering if it's the same Samuel Bellamy, if it's him, or if it's a pirate who knew him or was connected to him, or perhaps shared, the 3 ships that he owned, perhaps was captain of one of them. So we really need to follow up more on the pirate story at Smithers Hall, because he was from Cornwall, but he was being looked for by the government around the Caribbean, and he wouldn't have sailed back into Bristol or London for that purpose. So he possibly could have sailed into Liverpool. That's not too far from Southport, not too far from where we live as well. So he could have come across and lodged himself at Smithers Hall with his treasures, to hide from the government. We need to follow this story back up again next time we're up at Smithers Hall. But for now, this is the kind of ship that we're talking about. But it would have had black sails, like Jack Sparrow's. Samuel Bellamy's 3 pirate ships crashed upon rocks whilst entering Boston's Long Wharf harbour, and the 3 ships battled with the storm and they broke apart, perished, and sank to the bottom of the ocean, complete with all the treasures. Everybody was found dead except there were 2 survivors who made it on land into Boston, and we managed to tell the people there what happened, what was the sad fate of pirate Samuel Bellamy of Cornwall, England.
who were hung during the trial, as the state during the trial. All this area, all the names of all the people. I think there's about 20 of them, to be honest with you. Yeah, these are memorials to them all. It's just amazing. And I think some of these are the old houses as well that they used to live in. Yeah, but
Hangings.
it's 22. Yeah.
And all the graves are here in this square just by the cemetery.
Yeah. This is all of them, yeah, in this area.
That's okay. Looking for someone's hat. So these are half of the graves of the witches of Salem. Some were hung in 1682 and some were pressed. And these are the other graves of the Salem witches, which were all hung here in 1682. Andy, do you want to just check the date on the bench?
1692.
1692.
1692, yeah. All of them were pretty young. There were some men as well. There were a few men who were hung. Yeah, but it was just mass hysteria. Everybody was blaming each other, and at the end of the day, 22 people were hung who were innocent. And the fact is, not one of them were witches. And they were all hung for witchcraft, and not one of them was. And that is a sad story of that period of time. After that, there were very, very few witch trials. I think people realised what they were doing was wrong. Although witchcraft was illegal and pagan beliefs were illegal until 1958, they knew it was going on, but there were very, very few trials and nobody really did anything about it. People didn't do anything at all, but yeah, none of these were actually witches. It was just chaotic mass hysteria.
Okay, so from Salem, Massachusetts, we are going to say goodnight, and once again, thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing, thank you for watching us. Please go over and watch some of our old videos, because we've been doing this now for a couple of years. And take care of yourselves, and we'll see you all back in the UK for Halloween. Take care.